South Africa is one of Africa's economic giants, with a GDP of over $405 billion, world-class universities, a globally respected banking system, and the largest reserves of platinum anywhere on Earth. It is the continent's most industrialized nation, producing everything from automobiles to financial services used across southern Africa. Yet beneath these impressive numbers, something deeper is happening. You might not see it on the news. You might not hear people talk about it openly. But the numbers tell a story that is impossible to ignore. According to the United Nations, nearly 914,000 South Africans lived abroad by 2020. But immigration experts say the number in 2024 is likely between 1.6 and 2 million. Many people don't officially emigrate. They simply leave on a work visa, study visa, or tourism visa and never return. The UK reports that South Africans are now one of the top 10 foreign nationalities buying homes in London. Australia, New Zealand, Canada, the UAE, the Netherlands, and Portugal have also seen massive spikes in South African arrivals. But it is not the quantity that worries economists. It is the quality. It is who is leaving. South Africa is losing its skilled workers, its teachers, nurses, engineers, accountants, artisans, doctors, software developers, and entrepreneurs. These are the people who hold a society together. The 2024 Africa Wealth Report shows a 20% drop in high net worth individuals between 2013 and 2023. These are not just rich people. They are job creators, investors, business owners. They are the backbone of the tax system. When they leave, the country loses not just individuals, but entire ecosystems of knowledge, money, and opportunity. This is what economists call a brain drain. It is one of the most dangerous economic issues a country can face because once skilled people leave, they almost never return. Replacing a highly trained doctor or engineer can take 2 full decades of education and preparation. But why is this brain drain accelerating? The first pressure comes from the economy. South Africa was once the economic powerhouse of Africa. But according to the World Bank, the country has had some of the slowest economic growth rates in the developing world. In 2023, the economy grew at only 0.7%. Over the last decade, South Africa's GDP growth has averaged below 1% per year. This is not enough to create jobs for a growing population. And that leads to unemployment. Painful, structural unemployment. Statistics South Africa reports that the official unemployment rate is around 32%. The expanded unemployment rate, which includes people who have stopped looking for work, is above 40%. For youth, the number is staggering. Over 60% of young South Africans cannot find a job. Imagine millions of young people, fresh out of school or university, unable to use their skills, unable to earn a living, unable to see a future. That creates frustration. And frustration eventually becomes a one-way flight. Then there is the issue of currency. The South African rand is one of the most volatile major currencies in the world. It regularly loses value against the dollar, euro, and pound. When salaries stay flat but imported goods, technology, fuel, food rise in price, middle-class families feel squeezed. The cost of living rises faster than wages. Saving becomes harder. Planning becomes impossible. A software developer who moved to Ireland said,
"I wasn't trying to get rich. I was just tired of watching my money lose value every year."
And that sentiment is spreading. But if the economy is the slow suffocation, the infrastructure breakdown is the throat punch. There is one word every South African knows: load shedding. That is the term for scheduled power cuts due to insufficient electricity supply. In simple words, the power goes off every day because the national grid is collapsing. In 2023, South Africa experienced the worst year of load shedding in its history. The Council for Scientific and Industrial Research recorded more than 6,950 gigawatt-hours of electricity cut, an all-time high. Many households and businesses went without power for 6 to 10 hours a day. Small businesses shut down. Restaurants spent fortunes on generators. Refrigerated goods spoiled. Clinics operated in darkness. Schools cancelled classes. Electricity is the foundation of a modern society. Without it, everything becomes harder: education, healthcare, business, safety, even mental well-being. But power is not the only infrastructure failing. Water shortages have become common in cities like Johannesburg and Thwane. Road networks deteriorate faster than they are repaired. Rail lines, once a pillar of South African logistics, are now unreliable. A single shipment from Durban to Johannesburg can take days instead of hours. When everyday life becomes a fight against failing infrastructure, people begin to question whether they can build a stable life. And then there is safety, the unspoken weight on every South African's shoulders. The South African Police Service reported more than 27,000 murders in the 2022-2023 period. That is among the highest murder rates in the world outside of active war zones. Hijackings, armed robberies, kidnappings, and home invasions are terrifyingly common. Families build fortresses around their homes, electric fences, private security, CCTV, boom gates, panic buttons. In a wealthy Johannesburg suburb, a homeowner once said, "The only reason my kids can play outside is because I'm paying a private company to do what the police should be doing." This constant anxiety becomes unbearable. People want safety. They want freedom. They want to walk with their phone in their hand without fear. They want to sleep without checking security groups on WhatsApp every night. This fear drives emigration more than anything else. Before leaving the country entirely, thousands attempt something else, semigration. That means moving to safer, better managed provinces, especially the Western Cape. Data from Lightstone Property shows a massive shift of families from Gauteng to Cape Town, Stellenbosch, Somerset West, and George. They hope the Western Cape's governance, safety, and services will allow them to stay in South Africa. For some, it works. For others, it is a temporary stop before boarding a flight abroad. And the departure of skilled people creates a painful side effect. The South African Revenue Service reports that the tax base is shrinking. High earners, who contribute the most tax, are leaving. When tax revenue falls, the government has less money to fix power stations, repair water systems, expand policing, or improve education. It becomes a negative spiral. The more people leave, the worse things get. The worse things get, the more people leave. But beneath all these problems is something emotional. Something human. Most South Africans who leave do not leave with excitement. They leave with heartbreak. They miss the weather, the humor, the music, the food, the sense of community, the natural beauty, the mix of cultures, the feeling of belonging. They miss bra, sunsets, thunderstorms, and the warmth of the people. South Africans abroad often say, "I didn't leave because I stopped loving South Africa. I left because South Africa stopped loving me back." Migration is not a declaration of victory. It is a confession of pain, but for South Africa to keep its people, it must rebuild trust. It must fix electricity, restore safety, strengthen institutions, invest in infrastructure, and revive the economy. These are not impossible tasks. They require leadership, political will, and a shared vision. People leave when the future feels closed. People stay when the future feels possible. The real question is no longer why South Africans are leaving. The real question is whether South Africa can become a country worth staying for. Because that answer will shape the destiny of the Rainbow Nation for generations to come. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to World Economy for more such videos.